Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
That breaking news is from Washington, D.C., where President Trump's Supreme Court nominee faces her first day of questioning with 3 weeks until the election and so much at stake. Democratic senators did not hold back, and Judge Barrett evaded questions on the Affordable Care Act.
For me, my vote depends a lot on these responses because these are life or death questions.
It's a case that's on the court's docket, and the canons of judicial conduct, would prohibit me from expressing a view.
We go inside the hearing next. But first, we're getting new information this afternoon out of court about the plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer. It allegedly involved plans to murder the governor. That story tops our news here at noon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Evrod Cassimy. Right now, 5 men accused in the domestic terror plot are in a Grand Rapids courtroom. Adam Fox, Ty Garbin, Caleb Franks, Daniel Harris, and Brandon Caserta are all present for a hearing. The 6th man, Barry Croft, is in Delaware and is being brought back here to Michigan. All of these men are accused of plotting to kidnap Governor Whitmer and a whole lot more. The FBI even saying that Virginia's governor was also targeted in this plot. Local 4 Sean Lay has a look at all the new details.
Absolutely stunning. The only way to describe what we're learning from this hearing this morning, the person with the details on the witness stand is an FBI agent. His specialty, he's a veteran in investigating terrorism, and he is talking about what he learned about this plot to kidnap or kill Governor Whitmer. Let me share those details with you. We have been focused on 3 men from Metro Detroit who had an alleged huge role in this, and 1 man from Lake Orion is on tape allegedly pushing for the group not to kidnap the governor but to kill her. We're talking about 3 guys from our area. Ty Garbin from Heartland, a member of the self-called militia group Wolverine Watchmen. We learned from this group they decided to break off from the Watchmen because they allegedly wanted to take action. They say the Watchmen just wanted to protest. Caleb Franks from Waterford, when the group asked if anyone didn't have the stomach or will to actually kidnap Governor Whitmer, Franks is allegedly on tape saying he was ready for arson, setting fire to the governor's vacation home, and he allegedly said he was good with the plan to actually kill the governor. A huge key in this, a person we featured on Friday, Lake Orion area resident Daniel Harris. We learned that he was pushing the group not to kidnap the governor, but to shoot and kill her, even pose as a pizza delivery man to shoot her at her home. The details coming out of this hearing will simply take your breath away. One of the first people to come up with a plan to do something about Governor Whitmer during the COVID lockdown, he told the FBI when he was arrested his plan was to put Governor Whitmer on a boat from her vacation home, take the boat into the very middle of Lake Michigan, disable the boat, and leave her on the boat, and then she would later be rescued. But we're learning the people from Metro Detroit were pushing to actually shoot and kill her. The hearing continues. We'll have much more at 4 o'clock. Back to you.
All right, Sean, thank you for the update there. In other news this afternoon, President Trump's Supreme Court nominee faces her first day of questioning with a lot at stake, including the results of the general election possibly being contested. Democratic senators did not hold back.
Does the Constitution give the President of the United States the authority to unilaterally delay a general election under any circumstances? Does federal law?
If I give off-the-cuff answers, then I would be basically a legal pundit. And I don't think we want judges to be legal pundits. I think we want judges to approach cases thoughtfully and with an open mind.
Well, besides elections, Barrett mostly evaded questions on a woman's right to abortion, as well as the Affordable Care Act that is in jeopardy with pending litigation heading to the Supreme Court. Susan McGinnis takes a closer look at what has happened so far.
A history-making day on Capitol Hill as senators have their chance to quiz or grill Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett. Chairman Lindsey Graham setting the tone for Republicans.
I would say you're one of the greatest picks President Trump could have made, and from the conservative side of the aisle, you're one of the most qualified people of your generation.
Justice Barrett, former clerk for Justice Scalia, asserting herself early on.
If I'm confirmed, you would not be getting Justice Scalia. you would be getting Justice Barrett.
If confirmed, she would give the court a 6-3 conservative majority. Both Republicans and Democrats aware that she could be a deciding vote for any challenges to abortion rights.
The tenets of your faith mean a lot to you personally, is that correct?
That is true.
You've chosen to raise your family in the Catholic faith, is that correct?
That's true.
Can you set aside whatever Catholic beliefs you have regarding any issue before you?
I can. I have done that in my time on the 7th Circuit. If I stay on the 7th Circuit, I'll continue to do that. If I'm confirmed to the Supreme Court, I will do that still.
Democrats have been careful to challenge her views from the bench without attacking her religious beliefs. Judge Barrett promising to stick to the letter of the law when it comes to the Constitution.
I interpret the Constitution as a law, that I interpret its text as text, and I understand it to have the meaning that it had at the time people ratified it.
But that holds vastly different meaning for Republicans and Democrats inside the hearing room and outside.
No confirmation before inauguration.
Demonstrators on both sides making their voices heard.
Waymaker, miracle worker.
Even though the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett is on a fast track to confirmation in the next few weeks. Susan McGinnis, NBC News, Washington.
New at noon, another man accused of a series of rapes at Eastern Michigan University is due in court. Dustin Durbin, a former EMU student, is charged with sexually assaulting several women. He faces a total of 15 charges, including criminal sexual assault and assault. His hearing today will determine if Durbin will stand trial. Durbin is charged with 2 other men who were UMU students, and if convicted, those suspects could face up to life in prison. Detroit police continuing to investigate a fatal shooting last night on the city's east side. Police say one man was shot and killed during a dispute inside of a gas station on Gratiot, just north of Harper. The suspected shooter was taken into custody. Police are investigating reports that the victim was a would-be robber. Police did recover a gun at the scene. And scientists in Nevada now confirm a 25-year-old was infected twice with the coronavirus. It's the first confirmed case of reinfection here in the United States and the 5th confirmed reinfection case worldwide. The cases raise questions about how the immune system reacts to the virus and a possible vaccine. In the meantime, drug maker Johnson & Johnson has paused the advanced clinical trial of its experimental coronavirus vaccine, and it was paused because of an unexplained illness in one of the volunteers. Trials are stopped while doctors check to see if the illness can be linked to the vaccine or if it's just a coincidence. The state of Michigan confirmed more than 1,800 new cases of COVID-19 and 7 more deaths. Those are Sunday and Monday's totals. And on the national front, the United States has now surpassed 7,811,000 confirmed cases. More than 215,000 people have died from the virus, and these numbers coming from the Johns Hopkins University database. Here at home now, the Southfield Public Library has closed indefinitely after a staff member tested positive for the virus, and the library is going to be closed now for cleaning. Exposed staff will quarantine, and then visitors are asked to keep any books that they had checked out until the building officially reopens. Let's take a moment now to keep you updated on our forecast on this 13th day of October as we take a live look outside from our sky cam. Meteorologist Brandon Roos standing by in Grosse Pointe for us this afternoon with a look at how things are shaping up.
I don't know that it gets any better than this, Evrod, for a lunch hour, 60s light winds and just beautiful blue skies out here. That won't be the case all day, so right after the newscast, get outside, enjoy some of this beautiful weather. 62 Metro Airport, Romulus, 62 Howell, 62 Adrian. It's 60 right now in our North Zone, Pontiac. We are on our way into the middle upper 60s, about 68 degrees by 4 o'clock this afternoon. Winds are a lot lighter today out of the southwest. At times through the afternoon, maybe 10 to 15. And some late afternoon clouds will start to build in. You can almost see them creeping across Lake Michigan. But the showers stay away from us today. Not maybe the case as we head through the middle of the week. A couple of cool fronts to watch here, Evrod, and numbers tumbling in the 7-day straight ahead.
All righty, Brandon, we'll see you in just a little bit. Still to come here at noon, one last push with just 3 weeks before the general election. Both candidates are hitting the trail, some even holding events here in Metro Detroit. So we're going to take a closer look at their plans. That's coming up after the break.